So give me a shout out if the world is going to end. House of Dynamite is a Netflix original from filmmaker Catherine Don't Call Me Bam Bam Bigelow, who did Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker. Check out her IMDb page for the full list of her work. And this was written by Noah Oppenheimer, Oppenheimer, who did The Maze Runner, Divergent, and other projects. I actually forgot that the Divergent movies have come out in the last 15 or so years because, man, oh man, I love the first two. But boy, oh boy. So anyway, House of Dynamite shows what would happen if a lone missile was launched from an undisclosed location and our country couldn't do anything about it because we were ill prepared. We bounce around to various locations showing various name actors, and then we do wraparound stuff where we show stuff from the perspective of people that we just heard the voices of or just saw them on video calls. And we just get stuff going back on itself so goddamn much and going so up its own goddamn ass. It's like the Human Centipede trilogy times 20. And basically what I'm saying is, it isn't very good. Did you fucking get that? It's not very good. Unfortunately, it's also a movie that I wanted to like because I thought the initial premise sounded pretty good. And you have Rebecca Ferguson in it. I will watch just about anything Rebecca Ferguson is because not only is she really talented, she's also uber attractive. Idris Elba plays the president. He eventually shows up. We hear his voice for about 2/3 of the movie. We have, again, a pretty loaded cast. Gabriel Basso. We have Jared Harris, who's a terrific villain and a terrific character actor. We have Tracy Letts basically playing a version of Dick Cheney. May he rot in fucking hell, Mr. War on Terror. And Anthony Ramos is in this, briefly, very briefly. We also have Greta Lee. Putting Rebecca Ferguson and Greta Lee in the same movie, along with Willa Fitzgerald and a cameo by Catherine Dever, should actually be grounds for a criminal charge, because that's unfair to put that much talent and beauty on camera at once. Unfortunately, they only feature Rebecca Ferguson, even a little bit. Everybody else barely gets any screen time. Jonah Hauer-King, who was the prince in Little Mermaid, the live-action one, and also I Know What You Did Last Summer. He wasn't the prince in that one, but he was also in that movie. We also have Jason Clarke. We have Brittany O'Grady, who was in It's What's Inside. There's a joke there. And again, the aforementioned Willa Fitzgerald, who was in Regretting You. I will say I like this a little more than Regretting You because, well, at least it wasn't Regretting You. But yeah, this just shows different perspectives of how people would react when security measures don't work and the missile can, since they didn't know where it came from, they're having to try to basically catch everybody up to speed and also try to strike it down. And if they're unable to, then a U.S. city will get flattened. That's pretty much your plot right there. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Why am I doing this right now? Because I got some things to talk about. And it's on Netflix. You can go ahead and check it out if you want to. But it is really not very good. In fact, it's dumb as hell. It has an ending so flat that a 3-day-old can of soda left out in the goddamn summer would think that this ending was too flat. So, it's not the Cold War, it's the Usos. No, it's not day one-ish. So, Fort Greely, Alaska, where Anthony Ramos and his crew are basically going to launch their EKVs and their other, surface-to-air defenses to try to stop this. Then we go to the Washington, D.C. station room, where we have Rebecca Ferguson commanding the room. She could command me all she wants. I digress. And then the FEMA headquarters. Why is this the fucking location Olympics? So anyway, Jason Clarke basically says that line, give me a shout out if the world is going to end. No, the world's not going to end, but my patience sure ended with this movie quickly. And look, I recognize it's supposed to be a drama. It's supposed to be a what-if scenario. It's supposed to, drum up worst-case scenario. Here's the thing. Nothing actually occurs, and I didn't expect anything to show a giant nuclear explosion or cities being flattened. I didn't expect that. I just expected a little bit of something for something called a House of Dynamite. And Idris Elba explains a little bit later. It's we have all these, we have all these explosives, all these defense things, all this stuff. And it's like a House of Dynamite where basically it could blow up at any time with just a little bit of a spark. And also they're worried about any, people that they have bad relations with, moderate relations with, making sure that none of the people with other nuclear capabilities, nuclear, it's pronounced nuclear, they will not launch at us and it won't be a full-scale war. The only, way to play is, the only winning play is not to play. Or however that War Games quote went. I watched War Games recently, and sorry, I'm a little bit pissed off. So yes, it would be scary to know that a missile is going to be launched at somewhere in the Midwest versus a Columbus or Cleveland. No big loss if it's Cleveland, because the Browns wouldn't suck anymore. But then it's going to hit Chicago. And I like that deep dish pizza, and also I like the Bulls, and there are a lot of beautiful women in Chicago. So let's not have it be Chicago. Also, I don't think CM Punk could hit a GTS on the goddamn missile. And am I going to make fun of this movie? Yes, because otherwise I'm going to be mean-spirited. So, are you trying to tell me that we are at war all of a sudden? I think Noah probably should have maybe stuck with the other movies that would have made him more money. I mean, I hope he got paid decently for this, but this was really bad dialogue. This was really, really bad. So, call your loved ones. We find out there's a character, Jake, not from State Farm, who, that actor actually, he's alright. He's not the worst. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I think he's about the only one that really fucking tries. But, you know, that by the way, is Gabriel Beso. But, nevertheless, I just called him Deputy Jake because it sounds funny, like, you know, saying to my dad, like, would be a deputy and stuff like that, because that's my dad's name. But, call your loved ones, make peace with them, and then everyone, you know, panic and run to the bunker, you know, where the most important people are going to be there, and it has all the electricity in case they need to be dug out, then they're going to be totally fine. There is nothing of note to this. There is no substance. There is nothing to sink your teeth into. And I know it's based on, I believe it's based on a book. I remember reading somewhere that it was. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that. If it's not based on a goddamn book, then maybe they should write a book and actually make this a whole lot more interesting. But then we go to another chapter break. It's hitting a bullet with a bullet, and that's basically what this is. It's basically trying to hit it with something that's going to vaporize it, but hit it at the right time with the right impact, with the right amount of elements. But it turns out this EKV only has a 61% success rate. That's what $50 billion will get you guys. Boy, this country needlessly spending money on pointless shit. I'm glad that never happens. But anyway, we go to a Civil War reenactment somewhere in Hawaii or the South Pacific or whatever. Or we go to just Gettysburg. I don't actually know where the fuck this is. It's supposed to be Gettysburg. So maybe Greta Lee is in Gettysburg. But it bounces around from location to location so much. I am always down to see Greta Lee on the big screen. Or on my TV. Because my God, what a captivating woman. What a woman and what a goddamn actress. Especially in past lives. I'm glad she's getting more roles. What a fucking beauty she is, too. With the utmost respect to Miss Greta Lee. But the camera work is bothersome to me. It's supposed to be kind of guerrilla style, but it feels lazy and messy. And Deputy Jake basically says, don't go DEFCON 2. We can't panic people. We should be smart. But he's basically kind of the guy that's being a liaison between all this. We get Greta Lee to do some stuff about, hey, could it be North Korea? Because we always got to blame the people that, allowed collision in Korea to happen. And nobody that's not already a wrestling fan will get that. And then we go to the bunker for the emergency operations thing. And it could be the lizard people. I think the lizard people doing this actually might have been better because I would have been able to somehow take it more seriously. So, multiple countries are raising awareness. Deputy Jake talks to Russia. It seems like things are okay, but maybe not. He couldn't confirm things, but he says, I'm not sure, but they said they didn't do it. They said China didn't do it. But now we have the Ghost One stealth plane, and it's building, like it's not building to much of anything, as it turns out, but it's building something. The stealth plane goes and goes. It is going to intercept this thing, I assume, or it's going to become like the plane in Stealth, which somehow would be more plausible than what we're getting here. And then we see a shot of a Montana military base, missile base. At this point, we're just showing locations of shit. And the USS Nevada, they are ready to launch, possibly. And then there's another chapter break, a house filled with dynamite, which is, we see Baker, a.k.a. Jared Harris, on the golf course. He talks about losing his wife after so many years. He has a strained relationship with his daughter, we find out in one brief conversation. That's Catherine Devitt, and I'm all down to see her, because she, has been great and stuff recently, and you know what stuff she's been great in. And Idris Elba shows up with literally, I think, about 30 minutes left. I guess he couldn't be bothered to do anything other than phone in his role. And he shows up in a WNBA game before all this stuff starts to unravel. We see Angel Reese, who apparently is getting quite a bit of blowback because she happens to be a woman and also an African-American woman that happens to be comfortable in her own skin, want to market herself, and also promote the WNBA properly. And men can't stand that. Evidently. That's just what I see. I don't watch that much of the WNBA, but good lord. Anyway, yeah, she gets a brief cameo, which is actually probably the only time that the movie comes up. Things are dragging on. The president is talking to Jonah Howard King about all the stuff that he could do. Raw, medium, medium and well done are the scenarios, basically. We could be fine. We could see some casualties, or everybody could be vaporized. And make the call, Mr. President. He's going to make the call. Everybody's going to Ravens Rock, that's in Pennsylvania, and then we see a shot of a military guy, I assume Anthony Ramos, and then it just suddenly ends. That's it. No payoff. No payoff. I rewound it to see if I missed anything. Like, rewound some of it to see if I missed anything. No, the movie just putters along and it ends flatly. Boringly, badly. The more I think about it, the more this might actually be on my worst list. I don't know, because, god damn it, this is a disappointment. I don't expect straight answers. I just expect, okay, can we have a payoff? Oh, we're not going to have a payoff? Okay, fine, fuck, whatever. Yeah, House of Dynamite can eat shit. So that gets an F. So agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin. Until we go to the human centipeded White House correspondent dinner again. Don't think we really should ever do that, especially with the current administration. Happy trails to you.